Okay, in this Section 8 assignment, we're going to be answering questions on this write-up template. So here's the template you're going to turn in. We'll talk about this here in a second. And there's an Excel file you're going to open which will look like this. Alright, now what this shows is the carbon dioxide emissions from fossil fuel burning in the top 10 countries 2012. So we have China, United States, India, all the way down to Canada. And we have some information here. So emissions. This column is how many million of tons of carbon was burned from fossil fuels. So you can see the total for each country in this column. This is in millions of tons. So you have to be careful on that. Okay, over here you have the population. Population is, they actually give you the actual population. This is not in millions or billions. This is the population. So 1.3 billion for China, 300 million for the United States. These are actual numbers. These are in millions. These are actual numbers. Okay, and then we have a share of global total, the percent. So what percent of emissions come from which country? So China's making 26% of the carbon emissions. We have 15% and so forth. All right, so we go over back to this. The first question is, what is the average CO2 emissions of the top 10 countries? So you're going to be turning in this sheet, but use Excel to help you with that. So the average CO2 emissions, we can take the average by doing equals average. And then you would highlight top 10 countries. Okay, so I'm going to clear that out, let you do that. So find the average emissions from there. And just be careful that this is in millions of tons. I'll go back over to here, calculate the per capita emissions of each country. All right, so here's where I would use the Excel sheet a little bit. Per capita. So emissions per capita. Emissions divided by population. All right, now one thing about this is these are in millions and these are not in millions. So we need to kind of get them into the same term. So what I would do is make a row for emissions. And let's put these in non-millions. So let me tell you what I mean by that. You're going to right-click on C and go to Insert. And we're just going to make another column for emissions. Okay, and this is going to equal, so we go to C5, that's going to equal B5 times 1,000,000 times a million. So 2,395 million is right there. So now they're in millions. All right, once I do that, I can actually take this and just copy that down. That's going to take everything in the left column times a million. So now they're no longer in millions. All right, so this column right here is what I want to use. I'm going to change that to yellow. Ooh, just kidding. I don't want to do that. I want to make the background yellow. That's what I meant to do. All right, so this indicates to me that you've done this work. That's yours. Okay, and we want to find the per capita emissions of each country. Okay, so we've done that. That part is completed. Okay. Actually, just kidding. We haven't done that. That's just the emissions. Okay, we want per capita. So now I actually need to make a new row. Insert this. We want emissions per capita. And now I can do equals the emissions per capita. Divide those two. All right, we can take this and drag it out a little bit. Now one thing you'll notice is that this is not showing very many decimals. All right, these are ridiculous numbers. So if I go up here to these decimal numbers, I can increase how many decimals I'm showing. That's probably too many. There we go. Let's do 3 decimal places. Okay, so now here's the emissions per capita. That's what I want to highlight yellow. All right, so we did emissions divided by population, but before we could do that, we had to get rid of this millions of tons and just give me the raw numbers. Excel can divide raw numbers really easily, so we're going to do that. Okay, so there you go. If you look on here, we're going to talk about which one you think is a better gauge. So answer that question. And then we want the mean and median of the per capita. So once we have the per capita numbers, I want you to find the mean and the median. And what I would do is kind of just highlight this whole thing in red so I can find it. And then you're going to type in the formulas here. So equals average, and highlight the per capita. And median is equals median. And you can highlight the per capita numbers. Right. And so that kind of takes it through 4. And then from here, 5 is an interesting question. I don't usually get a very good answer for this. This says, as an environmentalist, which measurement would you use, mean or median, to argue that CO2 emissions are too high? The key here is that you are an environmentalist. So think about what the goal of the environmentalist is. Don't think about what you think, is what would the environmentalist think. So put yourself in their shoes. All right, so have fun with this assignment and turn it in.